Welcome to the Dice Tower's Summer Spectacular, a 5-day streaming event with top 10 lists, live plays, a host of board game fanatics, and more. That was extremely dramatic. That's the most dramatic music we have ever had. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dice Tower Summer Spectacular, specifically our spectacular game show. I'm Eric Summerer.
I'm Crystal Pisano.
And not that particular title has any sort of extra pressure for us, Crystal. We usually host a show called Dice Tower Tonight, which airs right here on the Dice Tower channel every other Wednesday. To call it this spectacular game show is maybe elevating it just a little bit.
I would say so. That, silly would probably be more befitting our specific brand here.
You said you had a better title for tonight's show. Do you want to share what that is?
Well, it's not going to make any sense to the chat just yet, but I am calling tonight's game show Medium-Length Malarkey, Just Scattered. So that is what I am calling our game show this evening.
It makes perfect sense. It really
totally
does. That will become clear very shortly. We have lots of activities for the live chat to be involved in. I have a game that we did do on Dice Tower tonight that both the chat and Crystal, in fact, you'll be going head-to-head, Crystal in the chat, to see who is better at sussing out the lies in a game of Malarkey. And then Crystal explained to me what she has planned for the second half of the show. I'm not really sure I even understand it.
Which is always, that bodes very well for what is going to happen. Needless to say, I could have chosen something simple, and yep. I did not go that route. So,
well, I'm really looking forward to it. Before we get into those games, though, what is the most important thing about playing games, Crystal?
Having fun.
What is the second most important thing about playing games? Prizes.
Helping people put the components back in the box afterward.
That's
like a
also very
person.
Good. No, all through our Summer Spectacular on these various live streams, we have been giving away free stuff because you've tuned in and we appreciate you tuning in to do so. And for this particular show, we are giving away some t-shirts. We've created some lovely designs, not only for the Dice Tower East convention that sadly didn't happen, but you can get t-shirts with that Dice Tower East design. There is a Dice Tower Summer Spectacular, just like the one that's on your screen right now, design. And then there's also some superhero dice t-shirts that have just debuted on Geeky Goodies. And we are giving away 3 of these t-shirts. And all you have to do is send an email to contest@dicetower.com. That's contest@dicetower.com with the subject FUN, F-U-N. And just type in your name and your address, and we'll pick 3 winners for people to win t-shirts of your choice, whichever one you want.
Yeah, you get to pick which one you want, which that's pretty cool. A lot of times you win a thing and you just get whatever they send you, but in this instance, you get to choose.
Absolutely. So you can be representing the Summer Spectacular or pick out one of those cool superhero dice designs that I really like. I think I want to grab one of those as well. So contest@dicetower.com with the subject fun. All right, Crystal. I think it's time to move forward with our planned festivities. You ready?
I am very ready and very excited.
Okay. I guess I'll grab my quick visual aid first. We are going to play a game of Malarkey. Malarkey, if you haven't seen it before, is a bluffing game in which different players will be trying to bluff another player into the meaning or the reasons for various situations in the world. If you're playing the party game version, one player will be guessing, and then the other players will each get a little sort of a folio that has possibly a card with the correct answer. So let me pick one that we didn't use for tonight's game. Why do you never see used UPS trucks? And so one person is going to get a little card that says, this is why, this is the actual reason. And then everybody else who got an empty folio has to come up with their own reason why that is the case. And then all of those answers are presented to the guessing player, and then whoever gets guessed is going to earn points, and you get more points for fooling the guesser. Here on our game show, we're involving the chat. In fact, this is a competition between Crystal and the chat. We asked these questions a few days ago on a geek list on Board Game Geek. I asked about 12 questions from the Malarkey game, and I actually wanted to look at when this was made. This copy of Malarkey is from 1997, so take that into consideration. I don't know if that's going to change the answers to anything. There were a couple of circumstances in some of the questions that I rejected that I don't think exist anymore. There was one that was, why do you sometimes in bars and restaurants see quarters covered in red ink?
Oh.
And I was like, I don't recall having seen that in any recent memory. It had to do with a jukebox. If you have a jukebox, then they would often put the red-coated quarters in the cash register so that employees could use them in the jukebox, and they knew to just put those back in the cash register.
Oh.
But anyway, I made a geek list with some of these questions from the box, and people on Board Game Geek submitted their answers. I picked 4 of my favorites along with the correct answer, and those are the ones that I will be presenting to Crystal. But the chat, our live chat, can also play because I'll be posting a straw poll for each of the questions, and chat can vote on which answer they think is correct. And we'll see who has the better method of sussing out the lie and the correct answer in this game of Malarkey.
I'm usually pretty good at this game, but I have found, based on our previous plays, that the Dice Tower fans are very, very clever, and therefore it becomes very difficult to suss out the correct answer.
Yes, it is. So, first I need to push a couple of buttons here. We're going to transfer to my screen share, which is, hey, look, there's Crystal. But we're going to remove Crystal from the view. So you should be looking at the Let's Play Malarkey screen, and I'm just going to make sure that made it onto the chat. But I think it does, because it's my whole screen. I can't see anything but that.
And what's funny is because of the delay on YouTube, at this point,
yes.
I don't know yet either.
Yes, I believe that I am seeing what I'm supposed to be seeing. So the next thing I need to do is post the first questions straw poll into the chat, which I am grabbing right now. At least I think I'm grabbing it right now.
Someone in the chat said, hello, fellow Malarkeyians.
All right, now I'm grabbing
So should I hide the chat or not? Because they're going to be voting on the straw poll, but they might be discussing things. Should I be hiding the chat?
Oh, I think maybe hiding the chat is not a bad idea.
Okay. It is now hidden on my YouTube, so...
All right, I have posted the link to the straw poll for our first question, which means I can just move along. Question number 1, Crystal. Why are 9-volt batteries rectangular? Answer A. Actually, just the way I'm viewing this, I should look at it over here. An old federal law states that all batteries above 6 volt are to be rectangular. This is why car batteries, 12 volt, are also rectangular. B. The product development and manufacturing managers were approached by marketing to ask about the visibility of their logo on the new battery. A large, flat face was agreed upon, and the now common square shape achieved that with the least effort. C. 9-volt batteries contain 6 1.5-volt round batteries. The most economical shape to hold the 6-pack is a rectangle. D. 9-volt batteries were developed for quick removal and change in field equipment for World War II. The rectangular shape with both poles on one end was easy to grab and manipulate with minimal interruption to communications. Or E. They were originally filled with mercury. The square shape was made to prevent them rolling off a table and breaking open.
Those are some good answers.
Those are some good answers. While I sit here refreshing the chat's answers, you can always vote in that straw poll right now. What are you thinking, Crystal?
So I don't know how much I want to discuss while the chat is voting because I am fairly certain I know the correct answer to this one.
Ah.
Just it's one of those random facts that I believe I know. So then it's a matter of how much do I want to discuss before you close the straw poll.
That is absolutely true. People are still voting.
Okay, I'll give it here a few seconds and then I will very quickly say what I know about this.
Yep.
Or what I believe I know. And it is not necessarily so the context of the information in my head was not for this reason, but I do know something about 9-volt batteries specifically that I think applies. So
I think I'm still getting a couple, but there is one clear answer. So,
okay.
Crystal, why don't you give me what your answer is?
So I believe the answer is C. And the reason I know that is because I have seen videos online where people said if you do not have AAA batteries, you can break open a 9-volt battery and you will find basically tiny AAA batteries, 6 of them inside of a 9-volt battery. And so I would guess that C is the correct answer based on that knowledge.
Chat, overwhelmingly, with about 52% of the vote, says D, that 9-volt batteries were developed for quick removal and exchange in field equipment in World War II. Refreshing one more time. Yeah, that's pretty much the clear answer. So let's look at what the answer is. It's C.
Aha!
Crystal is right and gets a point, whereas chat does not get the point.
So that's a fun fact. If you have 9-volt batteries laying around, but you need AAAs, I believe that you can break open safely, do it safely, look up how to do that, whatever, but the 9-volt and use what is inside as a AAA battery.
Question 2, I'm posting there in the chat. There we go. Time for question 2.
I love your PowerPoint.
I mean, this is not... This is totally a template. I am no Roy Cannaday, but this is about the extent of my PowerPoint abilities right here. Question 2. Why can't you ever buy fresh sardines? A. Due to their very low mass, sardine flesh spoils much more quickly than that of more common fish you could purchase at a grocery store or from a fishmonger. Their low mass also means they do not retain cold temperatures as readily, making storage on ice or in refrigeration impractical. B. Sardines are typically served canned, as they need to be pre-soaked in vinegar for easier digestion of the omega-delta 5 plus protein. C. The sardine market crashed in 1987. Following this, government policy assured customers that all sardines would be warehoused and distributed fairly with a uniform 6-week lead time. D. The sardine has a bile sac that must be removed before consumption, and it is much more efficient to remove it mechanically during the tinning process rather than by hand for fresh sale. Or E. There is no such fish as a sardine. It's a generic name given to many small fish that are canned.
Well, unlike the last question where I was like, oh, I got this. This one, no clue. So I can talk, I can say whatever I want, and who knows whether I'm going to lead the chat down the right path.
You don't have any extra knowledge on this one.
I don't have, me and sardines aren't as familiar as me and 9-volt batteries. I would say my initial impressions, I don't think it's E. I think there is such a thing as a sardine, so I don't think it's E. I don't think there is a sardine market, so I don't think it's C, but who knows? Honestly, D is the one that's calling out to me the most. Like that's the one that kind of like sounds the most believable.
Okay.
I like B as well, though. I don't think it's A. A seems like they're trying too hard. Like, it's a good answer, but I think whoever wrote it was, like, trying too hard. So,
okay.
Has the voting slowed down a little bit?
I think so. You could certainly... they're definitely leaning toward one answer here.
Okay. I am going to guess D.
D.
I don't know if it's true, but I like it.
Okay. Chat says E pretty overwhelmingly with about 53% of the vote. So we'll reveal the answer here. The answer is E. There is no such fish as a sardine. It is the term for putting fish in a can.
Huh.
Yep.
So, like, when you buy canned sardines, though, so you're just getting a bunch of random fishes? It's never
Well,
a single type of fish?
probably it's a single type, but, a lot of different things could be sardines.
Huh.
I should note that there were a few people in the geek list that said exactly that. Both Kevin, JM, and Corley all said essentially that it's the name of the process, it's not the name of the fish. And on the last question, the 9-volt batteries, Will got that right, just entering it in. I should also say that the answers that were picked, chat guessed David's answer about the World War II development of the 9-volt, and Crystal, you just chose PJ's answer with the bile sac.
I mean, honestly, that sounded just super believable, so well done.
That worked out very well. All right, let me get, you are now tied. I should probably state that for the record, so that's a great start to the game. We are loading question number 3's poll and posting it into the chat. It is right there now. And we'll move on to the next question. Question number 3. How did the grandfather clock get its name? This is good for the etymology expert.
Oh, gosh.
A. It's from a song. The clocks had existed under other names for several hundred years. In 1876, an American songwriter wrote a popular song called My Grandfather's Clock, and the name stuck. B. The first grandfather clock was designed by an English clockmaker utilizing wood and strings from his family's grand piano. C. They were originally called grand feather clocks because they were ornately decorated with bird carvings. Over the years, the pronunciation changed as they were increasingly inherited from grandfathers. D. Pendulum clocks ran slow and often fell behind the time, so they were mockingly called grandfather clocks. Or E. A tradition among wealthy Swiss families was to purchase an ornate casket and install a Todesschur, death clock, in it. When the patriarch of the family passed away, usually the grandfather of the family, the clock was stopped at the time of death, and its components removed from the casket prior to burial.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness, indeed.
I am also now at a loss.
I should note that chat seems to also be at a loss because it's no longer a strong preference over one.
Okay. So I will say that based on my initial impressions, C was calling out to me because I've seen a lot of grandfather clocks with kind of swoopy, ornate decor along the edges, and so that one felt believable. But I also know for a fact that it is a tradition to reach in and stop the pendulum when a person dies. So the person who, if somebody wrote E, they have taken a real life fact and twisted it into a false answer, and that's diabolical. So it is really hard for me not to choose E for that reason, because part of it is definitely true, but I don't know if it's true with the casket part. That seems like that would have to be a very large clock, and most grandfather clocks aren't that big. They're big, but they're not that big. Oh, gosh. I am going to go with... I'm so torn.
Chat is also torn. Last time I refreshed, it was tied.
Okay. Then I'm going to go with C. I think E is somebody really clever, and I'm just going to feel bad if it, but I'm going with C.
Okay,
I'm
C.
going with C.
You're picking C.
I'm picking C.
I'm going to refresh one more time here. Oh, it's still a tie. All right, I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Refresh. It's still tied. Oh my goodness. All right, one more refresh, and otherwise they're going to have answered both of them. All right, so chat is torn between D and A.
Oh.
They say it's either D or A, which is the pendulum clocks running slow, which is why they call it grandfather clocks, or it's from a song. And you said C, which is the grand feather clocks. I'm going to refresh one more time. Okay, A just barely knocks it out for the chat, and I'm going to stick with that answer. Let's look at what the
I love that
actual
they were
answer
debating
is.
between two entirely different things than I was.
Yes. All right, the answer is A. It is
Dang
from
it!
a song. The clocks existed under other names, but my grandfather's clock made the name popular. So chat is going to get the answer for that one. No one guessed that in the submissions, but Crystal, you were fooled by JM's answer about the grand feather clocks.
Can you
PJ
please
had the
tell
one
me?
about the death
Yeah.
clock.
Okay, no, so PJ already fooled me once, and now I got your number, PJ. I saw what you were doing.
So chat has taken the lead with that particular answer. Well done, chat. I am again in the wrong window. There we go. Chat, hello. And we are going to do question number 4, which is now posted in the chat. Question 4. Why are horses' heights measured to the shoulder rather than to the head? A. When horses see a tape measure, they instinctively lower their heads to the ground. B. The height of the shoulder is relevant for the horse harness. C. In the past, when humans were smaller than modern man, they could not reach the horse's head, so they measured what they could easily, the shoulder. D. Horses vary the angle at which they hold their heads and necks, so height measurements are taken at the shoulder because measurements at the head would vary too much. Or E. An accurate measurement of a racing horse to the top of the head would require a ladder, which is both inconvenient and dangerous, so measurements were traditionally made to the withers.
Throwing the word withers in there. Is that real, or is that somebody being clever? Like they're like, ooh, I'm going to Google what a horse's shoulder is, or maybe they already know. Maybe they have horses. A horse is a horse.
Of course, of course.
Thank
Thank you for that setup, by the way.
This is another one that I don't know the answer. We started off so strong, and now it's just malarkey.
It is malarkey, isn't it?
It is. Whole bunch of malarkey. I am leaning toward D because that sounds the most plausible to me. Like, I've seen horses, and they don't, I mean, yeah, if you measure, like, their head and neck, they move that around a lot, so you can't, it's not like a kid, you can't say stand up straight, like, the horse doesn't know what you're talking about, so. I like A, horses. But it's not A. I don't.
Okay.
That feels like like one of those things that gets passed down between generations as a joke. I don't think it's B.
Okay.
Oh man.
What are you locking in?
I'm gonna lock in D. Okay. I'm locking it in.
Well, chat agrees with you. They also have locked in D pretty overwhelmingly with about 67% of the vote. They say D. Nobody voted for A. So
okay.
You're either both right or you're both not. Let's see what we have. The answer is D. Yes.
Yay!
Nobody fooled anybody. Oh, sorry. I don't want to show you that yet. Let's see. I think a couple of people in the submissions did get that answer. PJ had that answer correct. That was the answer that they gave already. Okay, so well done, chat. Chat is still in the lead, however. You didn't change any sort of lead. It is 2-3. Okay. It's time for me to load the poll for number 5. Copying that. Go to the chat. There are a couple of moving pieces for this particular game, and I'm... Oh, wait. No, that's not helpful. 5. There we go. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but it's very, very important.
It's riveting, I'm sure.
All right, there is the number 5 answer, and that should lead us where we need to go. So, question number 5. Why is Scotland Yard in England? A. Scotland Yard, or a Scotland Yard, is a colloquial term for the length of the billy clubs carried by bobbies in the 1800s. B. It was one of the first internal affairs police services stationed in London. It was almost entirely composed out of Scottish policemen, like some of the regiments in the army. Because of their natural aversity towards the English, they didn't take bribes. It's what made them famous, and over time the whole police department became associated with the name. C. Scotland Yard was built on the site of a former palace where Scottish kings and queens stayed while visiting London. D. The land it is built on originally held a Scottish tavern, famous for serving yard-long glasses of beer. By the time the land was purchased for a police station to be built, the tavern's sign was considered historic, and a city ordinance prevented it from being removed. Or E. The first London Metropolitan Police headquarters were built over a destroyed brickyard owned by the Scottish Lord Henry Sinclair.
So what's funny about this one is it sounds familiar to me. Like we've covered it before, or I've heard it somewhere else. But all of that being possibly the case, I still have no idea what the answer is. So I was like, ooh, this sounds familiar. Maybe I'll know it. And then you read all the answers, and nothing sounds familiar in the answers. So I have to actually figure this out.
I feel like our European friends have an advantage here.
I would imagine that might be the case.
Yeah.
I am going to start saying things I don't think it is. And I do not think it is E. I don't think...
Chad is suggesting that they copy you. Let's copy Crystal.
I mean, that's the way to maintain their lead.
That would work, yeah.
So, yeah. I don't think it is C. I also am not thinking it's D either. I'm kind of debating between A and B, but B sounds the most believable. Or it's the most detailed. So that means it's either the correct answer or someone, again, trying really hard on a fake answer. I am going to go with my gut and say A. I'm done. I'm locking it in. I'm locking in A.
Crystal says A about the Scotland Yard, which is a colloquial term for the length of the billy clubs carried by bobbies. I'm going to refresh one more time, but it looks like with about 36% of the vote, chat says E, which is the brickyard owned by the Scottish Lord Henry Sinclair. So let's go to the answer. The answer is C. Former palace where Scottish kings and queens stayed while visiting London. A few people got that because I'm sure they had been to London recently and took the tour. Stephen got that in the chat. But, Crystal, you were fooled by Blaine's answer about the billy clubs, and chat was fooled by Andre's answer about Henry Sinclair. Although chat was very close, the number 2 answer was the correct one in this particular instance.
Okay.
So no change in score, unfortunately. You're still at 2-3. Let me load the question number 6. We have 8 questions, by the way, so we're past the halfway point and going to the correct window where I will now post number 6 and paste. Whoops, that's not going to work because I need to put a space in between my number 6 and the hyperlink. Okay, there we go. Here we go. What is the cottage in cottage cheese? A. Several hundred years ago, farmers made the cheese in their cottage homes. B. Wilbur Dockund and Sebastian Kotz invented the blend. They decided that cottage cheese was a name that could help their marketing efforts. C. It was invented by accident when a batch of ricotta cheese was left to curdle too long. Over time, ricotta-aged cheese became shortened to cot-aged cheese. D. Cottage was formerly a slang term for the type of curd found in this cheese variety, hence cottage cheese. Or E. The name comes from the cot or hammock-shaped cloth that was used to strain the curds.
Man, y'all are so clever.
Those are all very believable answers, I have to say.
They're honestly, this is not one where, any of them stick out to me as immediately not possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They all, oof. This is, oh, I know that the chat can't see me, so I got to keep talking, because otherwise I'm just staring at nothing.
Yep.
And so I do know that they use cloths to strain specific types of cheese, and especially like straining curds from whey, like using a cloth to do that is definitely something that exists. Like that is how curds and whey were separated, and probably still are to some degree, only on a larger industrial scale now. I love cottage cheese, so I'm actually very interested to know what this is.
Yep.
Um, I how's the chat doing? Are they picking?
Chat is sort of solidifying on one answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Their number one is about 31% of the vote.
All right. Well, it's not B. I don't think it's D. E is close. I don't think it's A. Honestly, C is the one that sticks out to me because cottage cheese is a very mild flavored cheese, as is a good ricotta, and it fits too well. So I'm going with C. So someone was either very, very clever, and I give them props, or maybe I got it.
So Crystal's going to go with C. I just saw a surge. The number 2 answer was moving its way back up. But no, chat is going to stick with D with about 31% of the vote. So chat says it's the slang term for the curd. Crystal says it is the ricotta cheese variant. The answer is, it's the simplest one, A.
Oh, gosh.
It's just named after the cottages where the cheese was made. So a number of people actually guessed that in the submissions or had questions or answers very, very close to that. Crystal, you were fooled by JM with the ricotta, and Steven fooled the chat. I should note that I'm giving Geek Gold to any of the submissions that fooled either you or the chat, Crystal. So this is getting very expensive for me because
I can help contribute because I have oodles of Geek Gold that I have nothing to do with.
Yes,
so.
I actually have plenty. I've got like 4,000 something. So I should be fine. But the questions or the score does still stand at 2-3, with 2 questions left to go. So it's time to rally. This is the home stretch. Posting in the chat right now. This is question number 7 with the space and the hyperlink, and there we go. Question 7. How do they keep all the raisins in cereal boxes from falling to the bottom? A. Sodium aluminosilicate is an additive used to prevent clumping. It also reacts with the gluten in the cereal flakes to attract the raisins, helping to maintain their dispersion during shipping and handling. B. Raisins are added to the box after it is already half full with cereal. During shipment, the raisins naturally distribute evenly. C. When the bag is filled, they inject it with air that forces the raisins to spread out in the bag. D. Raisins are only ever found among cereals with a distinct scoop shape. As the raisins are loaded from the top, they get caught on these cereal scoops, preventing many from falling to the bottom. Or E. For packaging efficiency purposes, most cereal companies pack their large crates of cereal boxes with the boxes laying down rather than upright. The boxes are oriented upright once they reach store shelves, giving the raisins less time and opportunity to settle to the bottom of the container.
I am stumped. So the whole time you've been reading off these answers, all my brain can focus on is whether a raisin is in fact heavier than, say, like a bran flake. Because raisins, they're very small, and would they fall to the bottom? I mean, I guess maybe, but it feels like if the flakes are all smushed together with the raisins just dispersed, that the raisins wouldn't have any room to go anywhere because the flakes are all sitting on each other or whatever. So I don't think it's C. I don't think it's B.
Chat says, I think all of these seem wrong.
Yeah, so D I don't even understand how cereals with the cereal itself is a scoop shape. I see what they're saying. No, that's not true. Is my opinion. Obviously, I don't know. A sounds all sciency and like makes sense, and there are a lot of like specific ingredients added to food products to either make things stick together or be gummy or not stick together or whatever. Like a lot of the weird ingredients you see on boxes are often for those reasons. But reacting with the gluten in the cereal is where I get lost because there are a lot of gluten-free cereals. So I don't think that's it either. I honestly, just like chat, these all look wrong to me. E, could it be E? Packing efficiency purposes. I don't think that's true. It's not more efficient to pack things laying down. So I have to go back to an answer that I've already eliminated, which would be B. I'm going to go with B. I have no idea why.
You're going to go with B.
Yep.
Well, chat agrees with you. About 42% of the votes went with B, adding the raisins to the box about halfway through the packing of the box. Let's look at the answer. The answer is B.
Oh.
At least according to the Malarkey game, that is exactly what happens.
All right, well, let's get Mr. Kellogg on the phone and ask him.
Yes, exactly. I grew up very close to Battle Creek. I've toured the factory.
Okay.
So here's the situation. We're sitting at 3 points to 4 points. Crystal, the best you can hope for is a tie. That is your glorious finale. But if chat gets this right, they will win the whole shebang. So I am now copying the URL for the final question. Question number 8. And there you go, chat. Question number 8 is, why is one side of Reynolds Wrap aluminum foil shiny and the other side dull? A. The dull side allows the foil to unroll easier from the box. B. Food chemists at Reynolds designed the shiny side of the foil to be 15 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than the dull side. Originally, a mini cookbook was included with Reynolds Wrap to educate cooks on how to use it properly. C. Shiny side is to reflect radio waves, whereas the dull side absorbs them. D. True aluminum foil looks the same on both sides. What is marketed as aluminum foil today is really a polymer film coated with a thin layer of aluminum on one side, resulting in the distinctive appearance. Or E. When the sheet is manufactured, one side comes in contact with a highly polished steel roller and becomes shiny. The other side comes out dull. It doesn't matter which side you use to wrap food.
How is everyone so clever every time? I mean, all right. So I got to guess something different than chat, though. So here, I have a question for you, Eric, in the chat as well, is if, after I have chosen my answer, if chat has chosen the same one, can I then switch to my secondary answer for the purposes of making the end of the game more interesting?
And making me pay more geek gold? Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I will allow it.
Okay. I mean, because if we pick the same answer, there's no drama at all to the end of this.
Yes.
Then chat wins either way. And in this instance, at least I have a chance to tie.
Yes.
So I don't think it's A.
Chat is
B.
definitely solidifying on one answer. About 60% of the vote is going in one direction.
Okay. E seems possible. I don't like C. I don't like D either. So B and E are the two answers that I'm debating between. I'm going to have my official answer be B, with my backup answer being E, if B is also what chat has chosen.
Chat has not chosen B.
Okay.
Chat has chosen pretty overwhelmingly. Let me refresh one more time just to get the last couple of votes in, with about 55% of the vote to go with E.
Oh.
The manufacturing roller causing the issue. You went with B, with the food chemists actually engineering it to be hotter or colder on the different sides. Let's look at the answer. The answer is, chat wins again. Pretty
Ah.
handily. They win with a score of 5-3. Crystal, let's see who fooled you. That was answer B was Baker with the
Okay.
question about the food chemists. But I think a few people actually got it right in the submission. Josh in the submission actually got it right that it's just part of the manufacturing process. So chat, you have defeated Crystal. Congratulations.
Yay, good job, chat.
Let me get out of my crazy PowerPoint here, and I can't reach the button. Where's the button? There we go. It's there. There we go. And we'll come back to this view, and there we are. Hello, we're back. Well done, chat.
I still do the same thing every time, where I still act like the camera is on me that whole time, even though it definitely isn't.
Yes, indeed. And thank you to everyone who submitted their answers. If you want to see more creative answers to these questions, we posted in the Dice Tower forum when I originally posted this, also on the Dice Tower's Facebook group and my Twitter feed at Eric Summerer, if you want to find the geek list that has all of this stuff. And I'll be dishing out a good amount of geek gold in the next couple of days. Thanks
so, Eric, that was a very smooth and well-run game.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you ready for things to go off the rails a little
am.
bit?
I hope it does. I am looking forward to it.
Okay, so before we get started, I do want to mention to those of you in chat who do not typically watch Dice Tower Tonight with Eric and I, we play a game similar to the game Eric just presented and what I'm about to do every 2 weeks. So if you enjoy interactive participation game show things like this, please come hang out with us. We have a really great crowd that joins us for Dice Tower Tonight every 2 weeks, and we would love to have you join us on that stream if you never have before.
Oh, yes.
And just like on that stream, sometimes things go a little bit crazy because I decide to pick something that is just too much.
As I was telling you, Crystal, it's part of your charm.
It just, things that are simple do not interest me all the time. And so what we are going to do, Eric, is you and the chat are going to be both cooperatively and competitively going through a gauntlet of board games.
Oh boy.
And I am not 100% sure how the scoring is going to work because some of it is competitive, some of it is cooperative. I guess maybe the first game's the only cooperative one. Okay. So technically I could just not score that and then we could score the rest of them. So chat, I need y'all to pay a little bit of attention here because what we are going to be doing is playing a series of games that are all connected to one another via means that I've determined. Those games are Just One, Medium, Scattergories, Categories, and Wavelength.
Okay.
All 4 of those games. We're playing all of them back to back. And so what I'll do is I'll kind of explain each game as we get to it, rather than explaining it all up front because nobody would remember or it wouldn't make sense right away.
It's true. Honestly, she tried and I couldn't follow.
Yeah, it's too much. It's just too much. So our first game is Just One. And obviously, now that I've named the games, you all might understand the name of the episode a little bit better, which was Medium, Length, Malarkey, Just Scattered.
So, it all makes sense now.
It all makes sense. All right, so for Just One, Eric, you and the chat are playing cooperatively, so there will be no scoring here, and you are going to be the one who is trying to guess the clue. So for Just One, for those of you who have not played it with us before, we play a modified version where I'm going to show a word to the chat, and then you all have to give clues to Eric that I will read to him so that he can guess what the word is. The clues you are allowed to give have to be single word answers. They can be proper nouns if you would like, but it has to be a single word. No rhymes, no homonyms, that kind of normal party game rule stuff. But basically you're trying to give a single word clue to Eric that'll help him guess the word that I'm going to show to you. The trick is if multiple answers are the same from the chat, they get eliminated. So you want to put down something that you think other people wouldn't put down, but that will still lead Eric to the correct answer. And what I'm going to do is, if you want to submit a answer for Eric to use, you're going to put it in all capital letters in the chat. If I see something that is not in all capital letters, I'm going to skip over it. I'm going to look at the first 7 all caps responses that come through in the chat. If any are duplicates, they will get removed, and then I will give Eric whatever remains, and he will guess the word. So 7 answers is what I am going with here. Eric, can you not see me or the chat right now?
I have hidden as many things as I need to hide, yes.
Okay, so I will show the chat the first word that they are going to have to get you to guess. So this is the first word.
And what did you say? We're trying to get to 2 of these? We're playing 2-2, or are we
Yes,
playing...
we're going to need to end up with 2 words here. I have 4 technically that we can do.
Okay, so I can mess up twice before
you sure can.
The game is ruined.
Yeah,
okay.
No, there's no pressure at all.
Nah, got it.
And we've got answers coming through in the chat now. I am waiting until we have a total of 7. And we do have 7 now. Okay. So, your clues, let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those 2 are eliminated. Ooh, one of them, Eric, do you happen to know the word if a word is contained within another word, if they both get eliminated or not?
Ooh. I don't... if they're different words, I think
very
it's
different.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay. So, only one word is getting eliminated then. So you're getting 5 clues.
That's not bad. So,
and again, chat, if you see a different order than I do, sometimes that is just because of the way YouTube works. So I'm not skipping over anyone's answers, I promise. So that you are getting these words, Eric. Clouds, rain, air, pluis.
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 Okay.
And airplane. I do not know if pluis is a real word or a typo or just a word that I'm not familiar with, but I'm gonna read it. So
yeah. Okay. Cloud, rain, airplane. So I was thinking weather until airplane and, well, pluis. I don't know what pluis is.
And you also have air. I read
air.
And air as well.
I'm airplane though. Why airplane? Why airplane? Drag. Clouds. Rain.
The answer that I read that neither one of us knew technically is not allowed per the rules of the game. So that would have been eliminated.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll help you, so I'm not really worried about it. But that is the thing that, chat, just a note, the thing that happened, that's not allowed.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing that it's in another language. That was the word that we're looking for.
Yep. It doesn't help you, though, I promise.
I guess it doesn't. Yeah. It's not one of the few languages that I have learned about. Atmosphere?
Nope. So close, but but so far away, Eric.
Okay.
Would you like me to tell you what it was?
Yes.
It was sky.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we are going to move on to the next one. So I'm going to show the next word to the chat. So here's the next word, chat. I did the thing where I did drawings for the chat again, like I've done in the past.
Thank you. I always enjoy when you do that, even though I don't get to see them.
And they're not great drawings, but, whatever.
That's, again, part of the charm.
Okay, we got answers coming into the chat. Okay, let's see here. Again, I'm only looking at capital letters and single word answers, everyone. So just get that. Okay, we definitely have enough now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe they're all unique. Okay, you're getting all 7.
All right.
You are getting push, red, patchwork, Benjamin, finger, so, sew, and that is SEW, sew, and thread. So red, push, patchwork, Benjamin, finger, sew, and thread.
Push, red, Benjamin. Benjamin. Thimble.
Oh gosh! If you had to guess again, Eric,
Needle.
No. Think about the Benjamin one. Think about Benjamin.
Button. It's button.
There you go.
I thought it might have been a character name. Like, was there a Benjamin Thimble? Yeah, maybe.
You know what? I think I'm going to give it to you. I know technically
Button.
It's just the first thing you said, but I knew you could get there, Eric. I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, this is just 3 is the game we're playing.
That's fine. Totally fine.
Yep.
Again, this is the cooperative part of the game. All right, I'm showing the next word to the chat. Hopefully that's showing up there.
Push red button.
Yeah, I liked Benjamin. That was Kabuki Kid that put down
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Benjamin's a great clue. I was like, what did Benjamin Franklin do with thimbles? That was weird.
All right, I think I should probably see answers coming up in the chat here pretty soon. Yes, they are coming. Again, gotta be all caps. Noah!
Is Noah still up?
Noah is still up.
You got 9 minutes before you have to go to bed, bud.
I'm going to omit his answer, but only because it would have caused a duplicate anyway. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna skip over the misspelled one. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. Okay. You've got strong, tricep, flex, memory, strong bad, and protein.
Strong bad. Muscle.
Yes.
Yes. All right, I got one.
And we'll go ahead and we'll do the last one real quick because
Okay.
I've got it here, and why not? So I'm showing the next word to the chat.
Okay.
Hopefully they can read
Maybe
that.
I can legitimately win this.
Chat, can you all read that? It looks light on my screen. Hopefully you can see what that says. I'm gonna hope.
You could always type it in chat, and I
I could, but that would be the smart thing to do, and I don't do that. Oh, people are definitely reading
Okay,
it, so
that's good.
it's fine. Okay. Noah typed no into the chat, and I don't know if that was in response to my clue or to tell you he's not going to bed.
Oh, great. That's probably what it is. That's the proto-teenager you got right there. That's
all right. I got 7 for you.
Okay.
We're going with wand, fairy, black, Orlando, Hogwarts,
Yep.
gathering,
Yep.
and pony.
Magic.
Yay!
Yes.
All right. Good job, chat. Y'all did great. And again, if the answers were in a different order on your computer, I promise that was not me skipping things. That's just YouTube.
Can I bring back the chat, or do I need to keep it hidden?
Sure can.
All right.
So now
I miss
we are
seeing
going to
everything.
take 2 of the words that you guessed correctly from just one, and we're going to play medium with them.
All right.
So those of you in chat who have not played medium before, what happens is you normally are drawing cards from a deck that have words on them, and then you and another person are trying to name a thing that would connect the 2 of the cards. So for instance, if the 2 cards said vehicle and black, then we would count down 3, 2, 1. You would both name something, and you're trying to name the same thing as the other person. And in this instance, Eric, if I said vehicle and black, what would you say?
Limousine.
See, and I would have said hearse. So we would not have matched, which is fine. Then we would take limousine and hearse, and we would try and name a thing based on those 2 words. And in that instance, what would you say, Eric? I've already got my answer.
Limousine and hearse. I don't know. Well, Black.
See, we can't do one of the original. Yeah, you can't do the words from the original.
Limousine, hearse.
I mean, I would just say car.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we totally would have matched, right?
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I would have said car.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna take. Which two do we want to use?
This is going to go very well. Okay.
I'm gonna take muscle and magic, and those are the two words that we have to connect somehow. But I don't have to connect them. Eric and the chat do. So, chat, muscle and magic are the words that you and Eric are going to have to connect. Eric, don't look at the chat, I guess, now.
Well, I guess I shouldn't look at the chat. Yeah, I'm just looking away. I'm not looking.
That's fine.
I'm gazing off into the middle distance.
So, chat, what I'm going to do, since obviously we cannot do a real-time countdown here because there is a significant delay in the way YouTube processes things, I am going to count 3, 2, 1. And then whatever answer pops up right at that moment is the answer I am going to say needs to match Eric. And it's going to be at my discretion. And y'all, if you don't like it, that's the only way I know how to do it.
Crystal's in charge, basically. Is
and you're doing the right thing. You're already putting things into the chat that is perfect. So you can, and obviously do not spam the chat a whole bunch of times. But if you would like to repeat yourself every few seconds gently, that is okay.
Gentle repetition.
Yeah, don't hit that enter button, over and over again. YouTube will do stuff if you do that.
They do, yeah.
All right, so muscle and magic are the two words we're trying to connect.
Yep.
So I'm going to count 3, 2, 1, Eric, and then you're going to give me an answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1,
Steroids.
Go. Okay, so the chat at that moment had VIN. VIN.
VIN.
So we've got VIN and steroids as our two words now. I'm going to give it a few seconds to allow the chat to catch up.
All right.
So we are trying to connect VIN and steroids.
Got it.
So that is what we are going to be trying to connect. I'm going to, okay. Stuff is coming in based on those two clues. Eric, are you ready for the countdown?
I am ready, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go.
Diesel.
Well, nothing popped up right when I said 3, 2, 1, but the most recent answer. Ooh, no. The next one to pop up was diesel.
Okay.
It really was.
All right.
Okay. There was technically something in Spanish, and then diesel was the next thing that came up by Nick Wagner. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's so many diesels in the chat.
That's
okay,
good.
The delay clearly was a factor here.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, chat. You all did amazing, and it would have worked perfectly.
That's a lot of diesels. Oh, my goodness.
That is so many diesels.
Yep,
okay.
We got it. That's good.
Yes. So this is going to work. So now we're done with medium.
Okay.
We are going to move on to categories.
Oh.
So for categories now, Eric, you're going to want to write the word diesel vertically on your piece of paper that I know you have because I asked you in advance. So I'm actually going to do this myself as well.
Diesel.
I believe that is correct. And I'm going to number those letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to show that to the chat just so they can see what I'm talking about here. Hopefully they can see that. The glare is pretty bad on this white paper.
I can see it.
So diesel is a little bit specific for categories, but then the way categories works, it's usually a category of items. And then you have to use the letters from the category name itself and name things within that category. We're going to fudge this one a little bit just because diesel is so specific. A little fudging. So what I'm going to have you all do, both the chat and Eric now, is we're going to say fuels of some kind are applicable answers here. So things that could be considered a fuel doesn't necessarily have to be for a vehicle, if that makes sense. So fuels of some type are what you're going to try and name. Chat, you all are going to do this too. So number 1, it's got to be a D word. Number 2 has to be an I word. Number 3, E. Number 4, S. Number 5, E. And number 6, L. So when you want to put an answer in, put that number in the chat and the word that you want to put there. And you are trying to not match Eric. you are trying to put down answers that do not match Eric, because you only get points, which again, I'm barely keeping score here, so who cares? But you want to not match Eric. So do not do all 6 all at once, Hawk Skull. That's too much. So, but I think I'm going to be lenient on what will fit this category. I want you all to have fun, but make sure you put the number with the word, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to spot things in the chat well enough. So, my goodness.
With so many answers, how do you pick just one for the chat?
I mean, I'm going to try and pick the first one that comes up if I can. I'm going to pop out the chat so it's a little bit easier to dig through. Now we've got some clearer answers popping up. So I'm going to go back, scroll back just a little bit to make sure I didn't miss anything. So the first one that popped up clearly was number 4. Okay. Let's see here. Okay.
Oh boy. I'm glad chat is coming up with answers, because I am not.
They are doing a wonderful job so far, and I'm very proud of them.
You haven't seen my answers yet.
I'm very excited to see your answers. Okay. Got that one. Oh. I mean, they do have an advantage because they are a massive crowd of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a single human being.
That is very true.
All right, let's see here. There we go. Got another one. And again, chat, I'm picking the first one I see based on what YouTube is giving me. Let's see. I think I'm just missing that one, so I need to look for that. Okay. All right. I've got 6 answers from the chat, Eric, but you can still take a few moments if you'd like.
A moment, but I'm stuck on one that I'm just pretty much blanking on.
You're going to want to look through all of this later, because holy moly, the chat is so clever in how they've interpreted this category. I'm really proud of them.
All right, I'm ready.
Aw, Noah, I'm putting that down as an alternate for number 6. I really like it. Also,
I like it. That is very good.
Yeah, no, I like Noah's answer for number 6. He's getting brownie points from me for that. All right, Eric, do you have some answers for me?
I do. I have answers.
All right, so number 1, D, some type of fuel for D. The chat said, specifically Justin Go said dung, which I think is great.
You know, I was actually going to say that, and then I totally forgot that that's what I was going to say, so I put dogs. They can pull a sled.
You know what? I will count it.
All right.
At first I was a little concerned about the context of that, but now that you've explained it, we're good.
Yes.
All right, number 2. Thomas in the chat said ice cream.
I said ice. I just said ice. I don't know if that's...
Yep, I think they both count.
Okay.
This is going to be me giving both of you 6 points in about 3 seconds.
It really is.
All right, number 3 is an E, and Justin again in the chat was the first to say ethylene gas.
Oh, very nice. I said elves. Santa's workshop works on elves. How else did the toys get made?
That is elven power.
Elf power.
Yeah, no, that's fully accurate. And that is how Santa's workshop works. So I cannot deny that. Number 4 was an S, and Coralu in the chat. This was actually the very first answer that popped up for the whole thing. Coralu said sun.
And I essentially said the same thing. I said solar.
Okay, so technically they both don't count, but they were both really good answers.
Yeah, they were.
All right, number 5, which was another E. Hannah in the chat said ethanol.
I said elastic bands. You ever made like a little model car out of a rubber band?
Yeah. I like both of those. All right, and then number 6 was an L. What did you have for us, Eric?
I said logs.
Oh, no, that definitely, I think, counts. And I believe it's going to give you the win over chat because the first thing that I saw in the chat was lead-free. And I don't think that counts as a fuel. It's like a categorization of fuel, but I went ahead and wrote it down. Although, do you want to hear what your son said as a fuel for hell?
I saw laughter go by. That was great.
Isn't that just the most adorable answer?
I also saw someone in the chat said he gets a 15-minute reprieve on bedtime for that answer. Yeah.
You know, that seems legitimate. So Eric, you beat the chat 5-4 technically.
All right.
It's categories. So now I have to choose. Can you run through your answers for me one more time, Eric, real quick?
I said dogs, ice, elves, solar, elastic bands, and logs.
Okay.
Everybody's doing Ren and Stimpy references in the chat now.
Nice. Oh, I can sing that whole song.
It's log. It's big, it's heavy,
What
it's wood.
rolls downstairs, a loner in pairs, rolls over your neighbor's dog.
Ba-boom.
What's great for a snack and fits on your back? It's
log.
It's log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log. It's
better than bad. It's good.
Everyone wants a log. You gotta get a log.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's
needs
really
it,
good.
Something and something. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba. From Blamo. I also still know Stick Stickley's Address by song from Nickelodeon when I was a child. I will not sing that one.
Very nice.
Everyone is thankful that I didn't do that. All right, so we are going to move from categories into Wavelength. And I have to do a tiny bit of prep work here. Because what I'm going to do is take two of the answers from categories and turn them into a scale via which we will play a round of Wavelength.
Okay.
And I am going to... Oh, man. We have some good ones on here. We're going to say...
Susie says, "Oh, I love you even more now, Crystal."
Oh, gosh. I'm sure a whole bunch of other people clicked to the X button when I started singing, but thank you, Susie.
And my son is like, what is happening right now?
Music sticks in my head. I mean, it sticks in everyone's heads. There's science behind that, but especially stuff that I really liked when I was a kid, and Ren and Stimpy I liked a lot. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the one that technically is the most sensical, because I could have gone very nonsensical, but then I would have had to pick a thing on said scale. Eric, I am going to switch my camera over to my other webcam real quick, so it's going to turn me off there for a second.
Gonna do a little blippity bloop.
Yep, it'll do a blippity bloop, and then we should, in theory, go back right about now-ish.
Ta-da!
Oh, also, my phone thinks I'm talking to it, which I am not. So let's see here. We're going to slide this on over. All right. We've got the wavelength thing. Make sure that that's mostly visible. Okay, well. And I scared the dog. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly visible? Mostly visible.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, we've now created a new scale via which things in wavelength can be created, and that is on a scale from ice to ice cream.
Oh, interesting. I like it.
So, normally in wavelength, one team would have to guess, and then the other team would be able to pick left or right, but I'm actually going to have you and the chat both guessing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a straw poll into the chat in YouTube. Y'all can click onto that now, but you won't be able to do anything with it quite yet. So, for those of you who have not played Wavelength before, I am going to spin this wheel where you all cannot see it, and then wherever this falls between ice and ice cream, I am going to name an item that I think fits in that spot on the wheel. So, in this instance, if it were way over here, for instance, I'd have to name something that is very much like ice cream and not at all like ice.
Okay.
But we don't know where the scale's going to end up. Then it's gonna be hidden, and you are gonna have to guess where on the scale the thing that I've named falls. You and Eric are both gonna guess. So how is the chat gonna do that? I'm gonna put this little
nice
thing in here.
That's ingenious right there.
The chat is gonna be able to guess their spot on the wheel, and I will move the dial for both Eric and the chat theoretically. So chat, you get to guess as well. I didn't want you all to just have to do left or right. I wanted you all to be able to guess too. So I'm going to spin the wheel. I'm going to pull it off.
It's trapped.
It's fine. Grab that off and spin it. Here, y'all can see me spin randomly. Okay, I'm going to stop it. I'm all going to hit myself in the head. Okay. I'm going to spin it again a little bit.
So in German, Richard Short says it would be ice to ice. It's the same word.
Interesting. That's probably why it's not in the game like that. Okay, so I have to pick something that falls there.
One of my favorite things to eat in Germany when we get to visit is spaghetti ice, which is ice cream that's been run through a ricer. So it comes out, it's almost like the Play-Doh Fun Factory, but it comes out looking like spaghetti. It's pretty crazy. It's fun.
That is pretty crazy. Oops, let's see, put it through there. Okay. It's not an exact science. Oh gosh, why is it? There we go.
There you go.
It's in there. And I hand drew this, so it's not perfect, y'all.
Yep.
Okay. So on a scale between ice and ice cream, I am going to say snow cone.
Ooh.
And now Eric and the chat have to guess where on the spectrum you think snow cone falls between ice and ice cream.
And am I using the number scale as well?
If you'd like, you can, or if you would like me to dial the thing in, I can also do that a little more specifically for you. But yeah, chat, that straw poll, I'm going to put it in the chat one more time so you can see it again if you didn't click on it earlier. That is where you are going to vote on where you think on the scale it falls. So.
And Kabuki, yes, we actually have a Snoopy snow cone machine here in the house.
Oh, I had one of those when I was a kid. I loved it.
They made a replica so that you could actually buy a new one. Which
nice.
Is pretty cool. Yeah.
Also, chat, put in the chat what your favorite flavor of snow cone is, because I would like to know.
Blue raspberry.
Oh, see, now I'm, first off, always at least 3 colors. Every time. Has to look pretty.
That's true.
And for me, I am pure 5-year-old when it comes to a snow cone. I want, cotton candy, bubble gum, and blue raspberry or something. I want it to look ridiculous and taste ridiculous, because otherwise it's just ice.
Yep.
All right, so the chat is debating right now, and I love it. But y'all, you're putting answers in the chat doesn't do you any good. You need to vote on the poll in the link. So click on the link if you would like to guess officially.
I'm actually writing my answer down just so I don't get influenced by the chat.
Okay. We've got how many votes so far? I'm going to refresh and see. We've got 62 votes so far.
Okay.
So we've got quite a few. And I've thrown all the scoring out the window in case you hadn't noticed that already.
Right. I mean, it all comes down to this, right? Who's closer?
I mean, it does.
Yeah.
And then we will put info about the contest in the chat again after this chat. So if you missed the contest info earlier, we will. It's
someone from the team is posting it. I'm not doing it. You're not doing it. Someone is watching us and posting that.
Oh, someone's watching. Someone's watching this hot mess right now.
Someone is.
Perfect. And they're going, well, Crystal and Eric are never hosting the game show again. All right, I'm going to refresh it again, and I imagine we're probably, we're pretty much solid. We've got an answer from the chat.
Okay.
So chat has said it falls somewhere in number 3. What do you say, Eric?
I also said 3. I think in the spectrum, there's certainly more flavor than plain ice, but a snow cone is made of ice, so it has to be very close. I almost considered going to 2. It just doesn't have the creaminess of ice cream. So maybe just to differentiate myself from chat, because I'm allowed, I'm going to go 2 notches closer to 2.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll say. I'll say. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say you're on the line between 2 and 3, and I'm going to put chat on the line between 3 and 4, just so we have very clear delineation.
Gotcha.
I don't actually remember exactly where the thing is, so at least, especially in relation to these numbers. So I'm going to pull off the paper first, because otherwise that'll be blocking the answer. And then, hopefully not knocking everything off of the desk this time, we will reveal.
Oh, look at that!
Wow. Wow. Eric!
What?
Spot on. Perfect.
And that is a finale. That's how you win the craziest game that anyone's ever played.
Yeah, that is how you win medium length Malarkey just scattered. Chat. Do you like ridiculous things? Because I sure hope you do. You're still here with us. If you've enjoyed tonight's game show, please click the little thumbs up button below the video. And you know what? If you've really, really enjoyed it, you can always send Tom an email, tom@dicetower.com,
yeah,
and let him know as well, because he likes getting feedback about the different shows that he's not part of. And if you thought that this was a hot mess, you don't have to email him.
No, you don't. And of course, you can join us every other week on Dice Tower Tonight, where we do similar things. And also, we have a discussion topic every 2 weeks. We'll talk about games we've played and the general shenanigans that we've been a part of right here.
Yes, and honestly, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I hope you are enjoying the Summer Spectacular. There's more content coming up this evening and even after today, so please continue to tune in right here on the Dice Tower. And thank you for indulging me as I tried to tie 4 different board games together in a single game.
Yes. Coming up later tonight, in just about 45 minutes, there is a live play on the horizon and lots more fun stuff tomorrow as part of the Summer Spectacular. I believe things are wrapping up tomorrow. This has been a wonderful experience, and I'm very happy to have been a part of it. It doesn't quite make up for having an in-person convention, but it has been great to hang out with everybody.
Absolutely. And you know who else it's great to hang out with? You are, Eric.
Oh, thank you very much. And the same to you, Crystal. It's always great to get to hang out. And we sort of get an extra opportunity to hang out in addition to our Dice Tower Tonight sessions.
Absolutely. In fact, our next episode of Dice Tower Tonight will be this coming Wednesday.
This coming Wednesday. We don't know what we're talking about. We usually decide that on Monday before the show.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, chat. Until next time, I am Crystal Pisano.
And I'm Eric Summerer.
And you've been watching the Dice Tower's Summer Spectacular Game Show.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.